You still doing up? It's late.
Oh, crud, what time is it?
It's way past your bedtime.
But it's still today.
Honey, please not right now. I do not have the energy for this.
Here.
What's this?
Your birthday? You kept complaining about your broken watch. So I figured, you know. You like it?
Honey, this is... It's
What?
nice, but I think it's stuck. It's not...
What? No. Oh, ha ha.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, good. You started helping out with the mortgage then.
Yeah, you wish.
Hello you lot out there, in case you are able to send a comment, please do, so we know that this chat is actually working. YouTube has had these broadcasting comment issues lately quite a bit.
Hello?
Sarah, honey, I need to get your daddy on the phone.
Uncle Tommy, what time is it?
I need to talk to your dad now. There's something...
Uncle Tommy? Hello? What was that all about?
So once again wondering if these comments actually work or not. Anyway, let's get going. So in case you're wondering why I am broadcasting this particular game instead of some newer one, the reason is this. The Last of Us 2 is out soon.
Dad?
Thank you, Prey, for commenting. Seems the comments are working. So as I was saying, basically replaying this The Last of Us for the coming sequel, which is supposed to be out in late June. So I'm kind of like getting myself refreshed for the second part of this great game, which I actually
Daddy?
played originally a few years ago on PS3. So never touched this PS4 version, even though I have had it
You in
quite
here?
a few years.
Somehow connected to the
Where
nationwide
the heck
pandemic.
are you?
We've received reports that victims afflicted with the infection show
That's
signs of
nearby.
increased aggression and
Hello, Black Death, and the rest of the people out there. And I guess this is kind of a fitting game given the current situation with epidemics and all. In case you don't know anything about this game, well, you're in for a treat. This is one of the best games to come out in the last 10 years or so, I would say. Hello, Parma Tube.
What is going on?
So in case you have already actually played this game or seen some videos about it being a game, there won't be much of a surprise to you, obviously. Maybe only
There's a
some
stone.
random metal chat, maybe. But apart from
Beat
gaming,
these
not so
calls.
much.
Where the hell are you? Call me on my way.
And in case you are one of those random viewers, not so much knowing about
Where is he?
the channel, well, this is not gonna be your regular game stream where just show you just gaming and not much talking. This is as much as about talking about metal, bands,
There
releases,
you are.
Sarah,
phenomena,
are you
and all
okay?
that stuff as much as
Yeah.
it is about gaming. And
Anyone
hence
come
that's
in
my
here?
excuse
No,
to play
let's
this
come
game
in here.
on
Don't go
easy
near the doors,
difficulty setting.
Just stand back there.
Dad, you're kind of freaking me out. What's going on?
It's the Coopers. Something ain't right with them. I think they're sick.
I'm kind of sick.
Jesus. Jimmy!
Dad?
Honey, come here. Come here. Jimmy! Jimmy, stay back! Jimmy, I am warning you. Don't!
You shot him.
Sarah,
I saw him this morning.
listen to me. There is something bad going on. And we have got to get out of here. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Tommy, come on. Come on.
Where the hell you been? You have any idea what's going on out there?
I got some notion.
Holy shit. You got blood all over you.
It ain't mine. Let's just get out of here.
They're saying half the people in the city lost their minds.
Can we just please go?
Some sort of parasite or something. You gonna tell me what happened?
Later.
Hey, Sarah. How you holding up, honey?
I'm fine. Can we hear us on the radio?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thanks.
No cell phone. No radio. Yeah, we're doing great. The little newsman wouldn't
So
shut
as
up.
I was saying, I don't want to ruin too much this dialogue stuff and all. So in case you haven't seen the game, you are
No getting into Travis County.
We need to get
getting
the hell out.
easier to get into the mood because it's really dark, really sinister.
Did they say how many are dead?
Probably a lot. Found this one family all mangled inside their
Tommy.
house. Right. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, how did this happen?
They got no clue. But we ain't the only town. First they were saying it's just the south. Now they're going on about the east coast, the west coast. Holy hell. That's Lewis's farm. I hope that some bitch made it out.
Well, this is
Sure.
quite a horror game, even though lots of
No.
drama
You
and
know.
They said it's just
action
people
as well.
in the city. We're good.
Didn't Jimmy work in the city?
hello, based.
Right, did. We're fine. Trust me.
All right.
See what they need.
What do you think you're doing? Keep driving.
They got a kid, Joel.
So do
But
we.
we have room.
Keep driving, Tommy.
Stop!
You ain't seen what I see. Someone else will come along.
You should have helped him.
This is bad. Everyone and their mother had the same damn idea.
We could just backtrack and...
What the fuck, man? Let's go!
Tommy!
Holy shit! What just happened? What the fuck just happened? Did you see that?
Yes, sorry.
God damn.
Turn here, turn here.
No. Come on, people. move.
Well, glad to hear you've
running
been
from?
enjoying Hammerhard.
I'm trying.
Like I said, it's my favorite battery album of all times
You can't
for a
stop
good
your
reason.
time.
Really epic stuff.
Back up there! They're
Really
behind me,
beautiful
too.
album.
There, hold on! Go!
Daddy? Hey. Hey.
Get back.
Yeah, that's a good one, Cosmic. Given that I've heard only one Five Finger Death Punch album from the beginning to the end. Hoodies, that's nice to hear that you started to like Valhalla so much. For me, my favorite Battery album would be quite easy to say. It's
I'm here, baby.
Home of One Spray. These are not exactly zombies. You will find out later more. I don't want to spoil anything because I mean I've played this game through a few years ago, but these are not just zombies, but it still is probably the best zombie-like game ever. But for the sake of argument, for the sake of everything being easy, let's just call them zombies.
Keep running!
Those people are on fire.
Don't look, Sarah. Keep looking at me, baby. Over there! We're gonna get out of this. I promise. Get back! There's too many of them! This way! Through the alley! This way! Through the alley!
Typical night in Florida. What's the problem? Indeed. No wonder if this game made you cry. It has
He's dead!
these
God damn it.
events
We're
that
almost
are
there.
very
We're almost
touchy.
there, baby. They're getting through the fence! Keep going! Find your way out of here! Come on! Go! Move it! Get to the highway! Go! You got Sarah! I can outrun him!
Uncle Tommy?
I will meet you there! Hurry!
Daddy, we can't leave him.
He's gonna be fine. We're almost there.
They're getting closer.
In a way, zombie apocalypse would be kind of easy for you. I mean, if you die, then there's nothing to worry about, you know? But then again, we have this thing called survival instinct. We don't want to die.
It's okay, baby. We're safe. We're safe. Hey, we need help. Stop! Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken. Stop right there! Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians on the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Listen, buddy, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Oh, shit. Please don't. Oh, no.
That's an American police for you right there.
Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, no, no. Please. 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 Please don't. Please. 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 Please
And that's my folks. That's how the game starts. First 15 minutes.
The number of confirmed
It's
deaths
tragic.
has passed 200. The governor has called a state of emergency.
There are hundreds and hundreds of bodies lining the streets.
Well, yeah, it is sad, especially if you have your own kids.
Report from the World Health
Probably can
Organization
imagine
showed that the latest vaccination
that
tests
could
have
feel.
failed.
With the bureaucrats out of power, we can finally take the necessary steps.
Los Angeles is now the latest city to be placed under martial law. All residents are required to report to their designated quarantine. Riots have continued for a third consecutive day, and winter rations are at an all-time low.
A group calling themselves the Fireflies have claimed responsibility for both attacks.
Their public charter calls for the return of all branches of government.
So this game pretty much
following the execution of 6 more alleged fireflies.
tosses you into the deep end
Rise with us.
from the very
Remember, when you're
beginning.
lost in the darkness, look for the light. Believe in the fireflies.
I wouldn't call it weak shock value. I think it's actually very deep. I mean, people can call it just kind of a weak or cheap to use kids, but then again, people who have kids kind of get it. And after all, I mean, we've all
I'm
been
coming.
kids. We all have parents. One way or another, we wouldn't be born without parents. Well, the soldier
How was
got
your morning?
his orders from who knows what. Anyway, 20 years later, it's easy to kind of push that stuff behind. And that's when the real game actually
I have
starts.
some interesting news for you.
Where were you, Tess?
West End District. Hey, we had a drop to make.
We had a drop to make.
Well,
So since
I
the
wanted to
game
let
is
them alone, remember?
in the beginning, it just explains the
I'll
backstory.
take one guess. The whole
What
deal
this
went
guy
south. And
is
the client
all
made off
about.
with our pills. Is that about right?
And now
Deal went
it's
off
time
without a
to
hitch.
move to the
Ration
actual
cards to last us a couple of months,
post-apocalyptic phase.
You wanna
And Black
explain
Death, I get you.
I was on my way
know
back
what you
here,
mean.
and I got jumped by these two assholes, all right? And yeah, they got a few good hits in, but... Look, I managed.
Give me that. Are these assholes still with us?
That's funny.
At least find out who they were.
Yeah, look, they were a couple of nobodies. They don't matter. What matters is that Robert fucking sent them.
Our Robert.
He knows that we're after him. He figures he's gonna get us first.
Son of a bitch, he's smart.
No. He's not smart enough.
So I guess I'm gonna be playing this game for
Like hell you
next
do.
few weekends.
Old warehouse in Area
Hopefully
5. Can't
going
say for
to
how long, though.
get this game finished
I'm ready now.
before the
Yeah.
Oh, I can do now.
Last of Us 2 is out there, because I mean I wanna get fresh to remember the game and give the feeling what it can be. Cosmic, I hope you will enjoy it. At least it's very honest on my behalf, and I think
Check
Bardo got,
Only on a few hours
you
left
know,
until curfew.
smart about the questions
Better hurry
asked, and he was very cool guy to work with, you know, Mr. Göransson, that is.
Such crap.
I was supposed, I mean, I expected the interview be more about the band rather than Rauta or anything else I do, but anyway, I'm happy either way. Glad you like it, Trossen. That's why I wanted to have this game, because I think this definitely deserves a rerun. I mean, it's an old game already, but since it's kind of relevant, the second
Look at
part
that.
coming out soon.
Ration line hasn't opened yet. Must be running low again.
Matti, I must say I pretty much agree. I think this is very much in par with late Red Dead Redemption as well. Yes, based. I think the Satanic War Master question has been explained in the interview already, but it was because Mr. Satanic War Master wanted to either have it removed altogether or at least
Seems like more
blurred.
people are getting addicted.
If you look at the comments, there by so many people, it's more like bullying. So I kind of get his point, and I was asking Mr. Satanic Warmaster, can we do another interview? He basically told me, well, if you don't do anything about the interview, nope. But with blurred or removed, maybe. So that was a compromise. Yeah, I mean, there are lots of actually funny comments, and one can, argue about it being sensitive and all that stuff about. I mean, once you are an artist, once you are a celebrity, politician, or anything like that, you kind of have to have your skin thick. Alright, now it's time for action. I'll get back into the Satanic Warmaster stuff in a bit.
Let's go, come on.
Attention. Checkpoint 5 is now closed until further notice. All civilians must clear the surrounding area.
So much for the easy route. Patch yourself up, all right? They're gonna close all the checkpoints. We're gonna have to go around the outside.
Outside the wall.
So about the Satanic Warmaster thing,
go.
I mean, like I said, whether you are an artist or celebrity, politician, or whatever kind of a person, public person in so many ways,
I just used it. No patrols. And where are you off to?
you are gonna get shit for whatever you do. Doesn't matter what kind of music you do. Doesn't matter what kind of art you do. What kind of opinions you do. Somebody is gonna take a piss at you. Somebody is gonna take nasty comments on you. Make nasty remarks.
Military's gonna be out in force soon.
Criticize you. And often going in person. I mean, for example, with Satanic Warmaster, it wasn't never about his music only. People attack him or criticize or bully him because of things he has said. And while it's understandable, it's not really cool to, use somebody's looks as the base of criticism. So I guess he kind of get fed up with all that shit,
Shit's stirring up out there. How we looking over here?
It's been quiet. No signs of military or infected.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, Greg, I think he actually meant those comments about his looks and all that stuff.
Joel, give me a hand with this.
He reminded me that when we agreed to do that interview, he was going to look like hungover, bloated, let's be honest about it, fat and all that stuff. So it's not like he was in his best shape. But anyway, he agreed to do the interview. So when people attacked his looks,
I need to watch what they throw away down here.
just because he was cool enough to do his first video interview ever, I understand that it's fucking annoying. I mean, you throw yourself to the wolves and they will fucking rip you. So one could say it's not so fucking cool, It's one thing to criticize the art, of course. I mean, doesn't matter if you're a painter or musician or anything like that. But to criticize how people look, Hey, this guy has glasses. He's a fucking four eyes. Hey, this guy has a fat fucking belly. Or this guy looks like fucking ugly. I mean, that's just fucking bullying, basically. So, I don't think it's cool. I mean, you can pretty much criticize whoever you want for the art or whatever. But yeah, exactly, like, that kind of I mean, for example, I say a lot of stuff and somebody can say I have wrong opinions. I don't believe in wrong opinions, by the way, but you know, one could say that, okay, this guy is fucking Nazi, or this guy is Antifa, or this guy is this and that, he's Jesus person, Islam person, whatever, you know. It's okay to criticize those opinions and those views or whatever, but to criticize based on, you know, how a person looks like, that's fucking cheap. It's a low blow, really. So, yeah, I mean, if people don't want to see interviews happening,
be careful.
When am I not?
Well, go ahead and criticize people with the, you know, bad arguments. But in case you want to see people doing interviews, I mean,
Ain't been out here in a while.
You really shouldn't comment
well, I am the romantic
on the looks and whatever. The same thing happened with the Wolves in the Throne Room interview. People were commenting about mascara or overweight or whatever.
Where's the ladder?
It's got to be around
Autumn
here somewhere.
Leaves, exactly my point. So people should be focusing on the ideas.
Got it.
Great, bring it over.
And my kind of a biggest fear is that because of those stupid comments, some bands might not be willing to do interviews.
This way.
You know? Like, if somebody notices, okay, this audience attacks Satanic War Master's looks because he does this interview.
Down through here.
Some other guys, just like, say, for example, like B-Hexen or whatever you don't have video interviews with, they might be okay, like, I was gonna do that video interview for the first time, but since people are doing these kind of shitty comments, I'm not gonna do it.
More pills, lots of ammo.
And this might backfire to the criticizing audience.
Hold up. Spores.
You know, because their favorite artist might not be doing the interview. Hello, Rainbrain.
Where the hell are all these coming from? The place was clear last time.
They're coming out of something. You stay alert.
Greg, I totally agree. This black metal is one of the most toxic communities in metal.
There's our culprit.
Body's not that old.
By the way, this
Better keep your
YouTube
eyes
chat
and ears
doesn't
open.
show your full comment because it kind of cuts it short. So it's just the long and short of though is took a G. What G?
Should be able to fit through here.
You okay?
Yeah. Damn ceiling's falling apart. Be careful. This way. Easy.
But yeah, the point being, if you want to see video interviews of your favorite bands, don't attack other people's favorite bands. Wrong kind of criticism.
Please.
What do you want to do? Poor bastard.
So this is how the world will look like after coronavirus.
Up ahead. You hear that? Shh.
Yes, Greg, it's a cheap shot indeed. And that's how you punch a lady.
All right, that's all of them.
Let's hope so.
Let's head back into the city.
And yes, Teal Chaos is brilliant, especially if you're coming outside of Finland, you know, all those great Finnish bands. Great bands, you know. I don't think so, because the thing is, regular gigs are not without age restriction, because they're usually bars and clubs. I mean, I'm talking about my own band back in the days, we've done some gigs, you know, which were like open for teenagers. But they were at the those, what you call them, nuorisotalo, the places for kids and youngsters. So those kind of youth clubs or whatever. I don't know what they are in Finnish. I mean English in any way. I'm not gonna read, but recreation centers. Yeah, thank you.
They got infected trying to sneak into the zone.
So back in the days when those kind of gigs took place,
Wishing they were living on the inside.
the age limit wasn't a problem. And yeah, places like Tavastia in Helsinki, it's way too big for most bands, and you have to have like mayhem
One thing I love about the outside. Fucking hate this
type of.
city.
Why don't you ask Bill to get you some of them air fresheners?
Hey, they weren't expired.
How was this? Flashlight. Can't even remember anymore. This doesn't really help me. Samurai, Turku. Oh, there's photo mode nowadays. What the hell was this? This camera. I mean, not flashlight. What the fuck? Oh, that. Once you press enough buttons, you will eventually find it. Well, hoodies, you will miss a lot of gigs, that's for sure, but most, nah. I mean, there will be plenty. When will you be 18, by the way?
I got it.
Damn it. Plank fell down. Be a dear, would you?
I'll get it.
Be a dear. I remember when I played this game on PS3, and this graphics was just stunning. In 2 years, alright, that's quite a long time, to be honest. But anyway,
Here, pass it to me.
You'll get there.
It's a bit heavy.
I think I can handle it.
And who knows, maybe once you get to see those gigs, those bands might be they might be better. I mean, more experienced and all that stuff.
There we go. Get your ass up there. Let's move.
Bossy today.
I'm getting close.
This is actually a game, by the way, of which I bought a digital soundtrack after playing this game. Because this is kind of a soothing and kind of a melancholic
It's clear. Come on.
soundtrack in so many ways. And once again, of course, I'm having some whiskey here while playing. So let's see if I'll be wasted by the time this stream is over. Not likely, but I mean, sometimes I can get a little bit, I can just, you know, get a little bit enthusiastic about this whiskey while I'm gaming. And my cat is trying to mess with my wires here. Old cat, such a fan of me gaming.
Hey, little man.
Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, I'm stoked about it.
Yeah?
I'm fucking thrilled. I won't be denying that. Now, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, CD Projekt is very, very
Well, that'll make it more
hyped,
interesting.
liked, respected studio, and they're gonna make a blast out of that Cyberpunk.
Come on.
Because, I mean, they did that with Witcher. And also because I actually played Cyberpunk 220 as a pen and paper role-playing game when I was a teenager. So I have a lot of history with that Cyberpunk game and the Cyberpunk world. Actually, a girl I once dated some 10 years ago.
You touch it, Tess.
She was
You don't visit us anymore.
doing that game for a bit, and she mentioned some of the stuff in the game, and you know, suddenly I remembered all those
Sorry, Tess.
names in the game world. You know, some of the companies, those fictive companies in the game, and places and all that. Like, you know, kind of gave me this nostalgic feeling, you know. Yes, Matti, that's the thing. Fixeri was a great archetype or career in that game. But yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk 220, it was a great game. I mean, the system was rather broken. I mean, not in good balance and all that stuff.
He's there now.
But you know, that Cyberpunk feeling, I really love the Cyberpunk feeling, you know. That kind of a dystopian world. Greg, you mean the Pons as the game creator? All right, cool, Greg. Nice to hear that.
Here we go.
Let us through.
You guys need to turn around and head back if you know what's good for you.
Our beef isn't with you. We just want Robert. You don't want to do this.
Turn the fuck around and leave now.
I'm not going anywhere without Robert.
Bitch, I will bash your skull unless you turn around and get your dumb ass out of here.
So, Cosmic, is this
Take cover!
the American thing you were talking about?
Ready?
Yeah.
I'll cover you. Get the angle on them.
Yeah, it's action time. I remember this part being in there early in the game. I've heard so much bad about Detroit. That's why I wanted to visit it. I think it was one of the Horna guys a few years ago when they were touring in United States.
How the hell did he get all
And I don't know which city, I don't remember which city it was, but there was this tour manager or somebody who said that, guys, you probably don't want to get out when you are like, you have free time after or before the gig. And the guy's like, why not? Well, I mean, you'll get it. And they were in some black neighborhood, it seems. So when they went out, guys having bald heads and whatnot, being obviously white guys, they soon realized, okay, this is the bad neighborhood. Like, there was some, you know, big ass gangs, you know, black people around. And I'm not implying anything about black people as such, but I mean, when you are these Nordic white guys and you end up in a wrong neighborhood, you suddenly get this feeling like you shouldn't be out there. So they just went back to the backstage of the club and all that stuff. Cosmic, yeah, that's what the guys were saying, essentially.
All right, come on.
Give me your hand.
So yeah, there are places you are not supposed to go, you know? You are gonna get fucked. You're gonna get killed. I mean, it's not like people are always animals to each other. Even though there's the saying, homo homini lupus, like people are like wolves to each other. You know, they treat you like shit because we're all beasts or beasts of prey.
Over here, Joel.
But I mean, there are places you really shouldn't go unless you know what the fuck you're doing and you're prepared for that.
More Robert's guys.
How do you know they're coming?
So it's not like necessarily they would have got beaten or robbed or whatever, but why take the risk? Why be stupid about it?
We shouldn't have taken this job. Not our call. Let's spread out and make sure no one's creeping around in here.
And Europeans don't necessarily get that America is so much more a different breed.
Move up. Move up.
Do you guys know the concept of murdering hobos? I'm talking about games here, not real people.
I meant to tell you.
You take one out, I'll take the other.
All these soldiers showed up with a group of about 5 civs, all in handcuffs.
Yeah, in Europe, and especially in Finland, nobody carries guns like that. America is very, very different in that respect.
Yeah, I hear it's like that all over the city. We're cracking down on them hard.
I got a cousin with him.
Seriously?
Yeah. Idiot thinks he's gonna save the world. Hope he's alright.
Let's search the area.
And in case I didn't mention, in case you're wondering, I don't know if you are, but I want to be honest about it. I am intentionally playing this game on easy difficulty setting. And the reason is this. I want to be able to focus on the stuff you say. Also, I don't want to get stuck in the game. I want to just get, you know, the flow going on without making this too much rinse and repeat. There are games which are difficult, and we'll get to them later on in the streams, but with story games such as this, I want to keep it nicely going.
Who the fuck?
Okay, that wasn't very. And here, you're right about America being violent and all that stuff. I mean, it's one of those countries which is so so extreme from one end to another. I mean, after all, you might have these places which are the safest in the world, most beautiful gardens and all that stuff, and, you know, rich people areas, and you don't get into trouble with places like that. But also, you might end up in a gang turf where no life is sacred, no police will enter or anything like that. So I wasn't saying anything about killing hobos, I was saying about murdering hobos. Murdering hobos is a kind of a role-playing term for typical player characters. And it's a type of a typical fantasy role-playing game character, you know. They are basically homeless people. After all, they are adventurers. They don't have a home. They don't have a house. And what they essentially do is, well, they kill a lot of punch, you know, for sometimes no reason other than experience points or loot or whatever. So it's all about basically being a hobo, that is a homeless person, killing a lot of, well, other people, monsters included. So sometimes you start to wonder how these game characters can just kill like a huge amount of people and all that stuff. There is no moral whatsoever. Even these kind of so-called goody guys. Think of Lara Croft of Tomb Raider. Basically,
We
she's
should
a
have brought more
heroine,
people.
you know.
They just slow us down.
She's
Yeah, you're right.
fighting for a good cause and all that stuff. But
Come
what
on,
in essence
Doctor,
she's
this way.
doing, she's killing
Let's do
loads.
this.
Loads of baddies, bad guys, murdering them, not for self-defense, but just fucking murdering them. So often these so-called heroes are just basically murderers, and the game world logic isn't always right there. You can be the good guy and you still end up murdering a lot of people all the fucking time. So it's kind of interesting to see how it goes, you know. So that's about murdering hobos. For example, these guys just can brutally kill a lot of people without asking questions. And about United States of America, I've traveled there 3 times, mostly big cities, and I gotta say I've fucking liked it a lot.
There's our boy.
But I haven't been to bad neighborhoods. I haven't been to places like Detroit. So it's very different world, obviously.
Wrap this up.
And obviously those bad kind of places are in Europe, Asia, wherever, you know, Africa.
Yeah, well, we lost our contacts in the north, lost our contacts in the south. I don't know who's left out there to sell us stuff. That's why we're taking shitty protection.
Let's be smart about this. There's a lot of them.
Let's try to listen to them, these guys.
You're insane. Going outside the wall is suicide.
Yeah, I would like to
I'd still
visit
take my
Florida.
chances in here.
To see the alligators, to see the death metal history. You know what places like Bergen in Norway is to black metal in so many ways. Okay, that was a stupid move. So many ways Florida is a place for death metal. And of course I would like to see places like what's that called? Key West. Yeah, Tampa. That's a good point, Metal Bolt. And that's how you punch somebody to death.
What you got, man? Let's go!
Ouch! You don't just punch me without getting killed, motherfucker. But what is the place? Not Key West, but the you know, the nature park. What the fuck it's called? I just can't get it in my head right now. Yeah, I would definitely want to, you know, visit Chicago. Everglades, thank you, Metal Bolt. That's the place I was kind of dreaming to visit. Because, after all, that's supposed to be a beautiful place with them gators and with them all the swamps and all that stuff. You know, even though I kind of consider myself a sort of certain kind of a urban boy, you know, I like to, I just like cities, you know, I like museums, I like architecture and all that stuff. But, I mean, I like nature as well. Just today, we spent some, I don't know, not 2 hours, but probably some 90 minutes in the woods, just wandering around. And what's that comment all about, Cosmic? What's that comment about Metal Vault being here? Headshot. You guys real life friends or something?
That office. Robert must have run in there. Let's go.
Am I supposed to be? Oh, yeah, you mean as a channel? Yes. Well, that's very. I'm flattered by that. I don't see those name tags, you know, like that when I'm streaming. I just need see, you know,
just want to talk, Robert.
names here. So I really can't see which ones are big ones or small ones or real ones or whatever. Like if you remember that Chesney Hawks club thing, you know, channel name.
Come on, he ran in here.
The point being, I really can't check out the names as such. But the name rings a bell though. Yeah, you girl. You just chase that motherfucker. I'm all about getting some loot here. Metal Vault, me too. Okay, so now he actually got away because I was just looting. So the game actually heard what I was saying, and I was punished right away. That's how it should go, by the way. Nope. What did I just run through the... through the fucking planks. So Metal Vault, that is exactly the reason why I'm streaming this game, because I kind of wanted to remind people that the part 2 is actually getting out soon. And also I think this game has a great story, some great characters, some great action, some great horror. So I kind of decided like I could go for a new game, I could go for something unseen, or then I could go for some kind of a modern classic, which is relevant because of the sequel. Hello, Aske. How are you doing?
Stop!
Quit your squirming. You were saying?
Gotta say, guys, I am not much a guy for a weather talk, but it was kind of a...
Excuse me.
I didn't have much of a choice. I owed
kind of ironic in a way to see
I
that...
you bet on the wrong horse.
That, you know, this weekend would be...
I just need more time.
You know, the Steelfest weekend.
You know, I might have done that if
you know, if there wasn't this corona at the moment, even though it's like 2 a.m. almost here in Finland, I would be probably drinking beer at Steelfest, probably making a interview. Actually, it was around this time last year on Friday night when I was doing Marduk interview with Morgan right after the festival was closed and all that stuff. So if it wasn't for this fucking corona, I would be meeting great guys at Steelfest, doing interviews, drinking beer, eating those great burgers.
Let's go get them.
And it would be some, I don't know, 20 degrees Celsius outside, and I would be enjoying my time, you know, with t-shirt on. Now it was like 4 degrees, you know. It is something like almost, you know, early March.
Look, let's go find a firefly.
When it comes to temperature, you know, it's fucking almost like a winter time. So it was actually snowing yesterday in Hyvinkää, the city where Steelfest takes place. So not only with the fucking corona, it would be also, you know, fucking horrible weather. And Metal, nice to have, nice to hear that you have beer.
The guns
opening.
he gave you, they weren't his to sell.
Yeah, next year Steelfest will be great.
For those guns.
Let's just hope that bands like D-Side will be there next year. I mean, you guys have no ideas how many times D-Side has cancelled in Finland. You know,
something smuggled out of the city.
Something like out of 6 times they have played only once.
I'll give you your guns back. Then some. So
it's kind of like a running joke, you know.
I would know you got them.
Like D-Side cancels for whatever reason. So now people were joking that because Steelfest got cancelled, people were saying like, no, we don't know if D-Side would have cancelled anyway with some other sick reason or excuse rather. So
we gotta get out of here now.
It's kind of
you want this deal?
Funny.
We gotta move.
D-Side always cancels.
Through here. I know a way around this. Come on.
Yes, Corona Side. That is kind of a proper name for that band. But anyways, I was obviously hoping to do D-Side interview for Rauta. I was hoping to get a lot of cool interviews for the channel. And of course to see a lot of those shows of bands I've never seen before, D-Side being one of them. So in so many fucking ways, a fucking disaster to be honest.
This way.
So why now?
They've been quiet. Been planning on leaving the city, but they need a scapegoat. They've been trying to rile us up.
Looks like they did.
We're trying to defend ourselves.
Yes, most bands do have day jobs, I guess.
Joel, give me a hand with this.
Yeah, D-Side is the size of a band which probably can do their stuff for a living. And that applies to many bands like, I don't know, Enslaved and stuff like that. But, for example, Darkthrone, not likely. Because bands make their money touring, selling merchandise, etc. These bands that tour a lot, which are very active with a big fan base, obviously they can make their livelihood with, you know, doing tours and gigs. But Fenris is actually right in so many ways about this stuff. I mean, once you're not dependent on your band to make money and, you know, survive in life, you know, pay bills and whatever, then you can just have more relaxed feeling with your band. You know, you don't have the kind of stress about like how will your new album be welcomed, how will it be revived, whatever.
I ain't a big fan of these odds.
We can sneak by them, even though I know that's
Yeah,
not your style.
it's kind of it was big news once upon a time that Fenris was a postal worker. I don't know if Doctron would be rich exactly, but I am sure they would be doing well. Yeah, that's my point. I mean, you don't exactly buy Porsche with just black metal such as Doctron. You know, the thing is, even though Doctron has a lot of cult value in black metal scene and as a long-timer band, there's still lots of people for which Doctron is way too raw, way too primitive even.
I'll get this one. Go around.
So it's not like, you know, mayhem. Yeah, you don't call that a live band.
Buy you anything to kill me.
Good. Stay quiet.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I saw Doctron in a way at fucking 2004 when there was this 30 minutes of a set in the middle of Satyricon set, and I gotta say that Doctron really fucking nailed it. And it was a fucking great gig. But I mean, it's totally different to play music from the Mysteries Dom Satanas versus,
Good riddance.
you know. Yeah, Fenris wasn't there, so it's not like full. Yeah, once again, we are just, you know, murdering hobos. We are the baddies, like I was saying earlier when I was talking these murdering hobo style, you know? So often these...
God damn it, they got Warren.
So often these guys are just...
Goodbye, friend.
Bad guys, even though they're supposed to be
more
heroes.
soldiers on the way.
You're right. Let's move.
And yeah, even though it was just a half a Doctron back in the day at Wacken, I mean, it kind of proved that Doctron songs really work live as well. But yeah, probably Doctron could do very well.
Go on, get inside.
You know, if they're just toured. So they wouldn't be dependent on their day job.
Where are we going, Marlene?
This way. It's not far now.
How you holding up?
I'm running on fumes, but I'll make it.
But it's not like I doubt
The place is
that,
right up
you
ahead.
know, bands are gonna die because of
Curfew is now in full effect.
Corona.
Anyone caught outside without proper authorization
Thing
will be
is,
arrested
these
and
guys might
prosecuted.
have to do just some ordinary work, unless they are
Hey,
Metallica or
Louise,
Iron Maiden.
So you.
Curfew is now in full effect.
But, you know, real bands will just keep doing what they're doing. Gigs or no gigs. And yeah, Wacken is it's a great festival. Been there like 5 times, and I always had a great time.
Let her go.
German are some great people. They're good at drinking beer, they're good at making friends and all that stuff. Hello, LeBlanc. Nice to have you here for a change.
What happened? Don't worry, this is fixable. I got his help.
I am coming to do Steel Chaos 2020 unless something stops me. And the thoughts about lineup, we were actually talking about it earlier.
We won't get another shot at this.
Today, Steel Chaos 2020 is like a Finnish black metal dream come true for so many people.
Exactly close.
Not maybe so much for me. I mean, saw
Hand her off, come back,
a
and
lot
it
of
was
those
yours.
bands obviously before,
Double
but
what
I mean,
Robert's told me.
for
Speaking
people
of
who
which,
haven't
where
seen
are
most of those bands
Back in
and
our
are fans of Finnish black metal scene
We're not
or
smuggling
style,
shit until I see them.
Steel Chaos 2020 is
Follow
fucking
me.
great in so
You can
many ways.
verify
It's
the
like the
weapons.
cream de la cream
I can get patched up.
of Finnish black
But
metal
she's
at
not
the moment.
crossing to that
So
part
many
of
good
town.
bands right there doing good
I
live.
want Joel to watch over her.
Whoa, I don't think that's the best
Ellie.
idea.
Him?
Yes, Steel Chaos. Was I talking about Steel Fest?
How do you
Sorry,
know
I meant
that?
Steel Chaos.
I was close with his brother Tommy. Said if I was ever in a jam.
Yeah, Steel Chaos 2020 is
Was that before or after he left your little militia?
it's a very interesting
He
lineup.
left you too. He was a good man.
Look, just take her to the North Tunnel and wait for me there.
But to be honest, I don't know since
Cargo,
I mean
Joel.
if I'm going or not. The thing is, because it's not
You'll be fine.
open as it would have been normally open. That is,
Don't take long.
depending if government is setting those restrictions for these kind of events later on, like how many people you can actually have at the venue. It depends, like, am I gonna fit in, or is it just a certain amount of people who have already bought their tickets? For example, I haven't bought my ticket, and I'm not first to buy, because obviously I hope that I could get there as, you know, a Rauta channel dude to do those interviews or whatever. But obviously I'm not on a priority line,
Heard all the
because if I'm going there as a
What happened?
press guy, obviously those who bought the ticket have the priority, and that's how it should be.
You're the pro. I'm just following you.
So obviously that can change a lot. And La Blonde, I know what you feel. I totally get you. Hoodies. If there was one band I would wanted to see live, but I couldn't, it would be Death, the best death metal band of all times. So that I wanted to see and would like to see if it was possible.
Down here.
Yeah, it sucks like a desperate whore for money. Pardon my French, by the way. It's not that I swear so much on the channel. Moskovskia vodka. Gotta say, I haven't had Moskovskia
Where are we
vodka.
going?
Up there. That'll get us to the North Tunnel.
Well,
How are we supposed to reach that?
I've already done Paratroom interview already on the channel, so it's not that I'm gonna do it at Steel Chaos. But Stargaze's interview is something that I have already agreed to do, so it's one of those more likely ones. Yeah, Urgehal would be great to see, but then again, I have seen it, so I really can't complain. I saw Urgehal at Inferno Festival in 2005. Yeah, well, Bathory would be my first choice among death.
This tunnel, you use it to smuggle things?
Yep.
Or, I mean, alongside death, but
Sometimes.
they are not exactly that much of a lie, but I mean, it never was. So,
what's the deal with you and Marlene anyways?
Choosing between
I don't know.
Bathory and death,
I guess.
death being at their prime, and Bathory
friends with the leader of the Fireflies.
not being on their prime, you know.
She knew my mom, and she's been looking at
Yeah,
me.
I remember
14,
Urgehal being fucking great when they played.
Where anyone.
And I met one of the guys. I don't even remember who it was already back in the days.
Just staying in school,
because it was 15 years ago.
Run up and join the Fireflies, is that it?
Look, I'm not supposed to tell you why you're smuggling.
Well, Burzum would be cool to see.
I know the best thing about my job.
But I mean, it's not like Burzum plays live.
To be honest with you,
The closest I've seen Burzum live was when those guys at Metalli Helvetti being the guys who excuse me, who organize Turku Saatanale Fest. Some of the Metalli Helvetti guys made this special lineup with some Finnish black metal guys doing Vislysettar Oss live. And it was great, by the way.
Is it?
Typo negative what would be interesting, definitely, but never been a fan of the band. So, would it be that important for me?
What are you doing?
Killing time.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I am sure you will figure that out.
Your watch is broken.
Hello, Alba. How are you? Yeah, it's hard to say why Gorton never felt the urge to play live. But some people are just so afraid of performing that it might be too much for that. I don't know if that's the case with Fenris. I don't know if that's the case with Gorton. But some guys, some people are just too afraid of, live performance. They just rather avoid it than to take a heart attack because of that. And LeBlanc, this is all about post-apocalyptic stuff. I was joking earlier this stream that this is how life will be after coronavirus, like when most of the people have died and when the apocalypse have started and all that stuff.
Wanna do this?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, I'm totally looking forward about, War Moon Lord. I guess you mean that by Winter Moon Lord.
Strange that they're having us do their smuggling.
So I'm really into that. About Bythos, well, those guys in Bythos, they're all Bihexen and Horna and other guys, so they are experienced in live, but I don't know, because I don't think the debut album was that good.
Come on.
Hello, Donald J. Trump. How are you doing with your politics? Yellow Blonde. So this is very much a zombie game, even though they are not exactly living dead, but the kind of Cosmic, I must say, it's way worse than B-Hexen at its weakest moments.
Who's waiting for us at the drop-off?
So LeBlanc, this is very much like a game when these, let's call them zombies for the sake of debate, they started to just kill people and, well, things went into apocalyptic ways. And now this is all about survival. It's about people as much as it's about this post-apocalyptic world's dog-eat-dog kind of a world.
Of course.
Very dark, very much horror, very dramatic. Drutk is one of those bands which I don't know if it would work very much, you know, live. I mean, it's so much about atmosphere and this kind of a mystique which Drutk has. So while it works well on albums, I don't know if it would work so well in the live environment. Thank you, Hoodies. Take care. See you later and talk to you on Discord.
Hold up. There's a patrol up ahead.
Yeah, Hate Forest is
good. Come
that
on
would
up.
be probably better live because it's more aggressive and stuff.
Come on, kid. Watch your step.
That's okay, Denton. You do what you do.
This rain ain't gonna do us any good.
Holy shit. I'm actually outside.
To be honest, I kind of got fed up with Drutk so many years ago. They have their moments, but in my opinion, it seems like they are. There's too much repetition, album after album. The Eye, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get into that question later on with my NSPM video.
Up this way.
Don't do anything stupid.
Move.
Turn around, on your knees. You scan him, I'll call it in.
Cosmic, yeah, I did the
Put your hands
first
on your
one.
head.
Did you see the first NSPM video I made a couple of
Ramirez at Sector 12.
months ago?
Pick up for 3 stragglers.
Dawson, I totally agree.
the
Black metal
other
never
way.
should be about safe
Make this
space
worth
and
your while.
political correctness and whatever.
Tired of shit.
Yes, Alba.
What's the ETA?
Couple minutes.
Another NSPM video. I've been wanting to make that quite a few weeks, but I have had other topics which I wanted to talk about. Top Scotch whiskey at the moment, top 3.
I thought we were just gonna
Lagavulin,
hold him up or something.
Lafroy, maybe Kalila.
Look.
Jesus Christ. Marlene set us up?
Cosmic, okay, well,
Why the hell are we
most
smuggling
people
an
seem
infected
to
girl?
have liked it
I'm not infected.
because of my rather neutral output, not being
explain.
Better
judgmental
explain
and
fast.
not being
Look at this.
idiot about it.
Got infected.
It's 3 weeks old.
No, everyone turns within 2 days, so you stop bullshitting.
Charleston, yeah,
It's
that's what I
3
was saying in
I
quite a
swear.
few videos.
Why would she say
Nigo,
that?
yeah, I'm an Islay boy. I like Ardbeg. I like almost all from Islay. I'm not big on Baumor and not big on I think it was Bruichladdich, which wasn't very good Islay whiskey. But all Smokehead, Lagavulin, Ardbeg, Kalila, all that stuff really get my really make my tongue wet.
When I give you the signal.
Militant zone. No, I'm not.
Now, run.
Let's avoid the lights. Hey, that sounds like a black metal album.
avoids the light. Grim, frostbitten
Stay away from those
zombies.
lights.
I'm not sure if I'm missing Bruichladi with some
Ellie,
other
it's
one.
gonna be another sprint. You ready?
I might be.
Yeah.
God damn it. They're everywhere.
I might be missing the name with some other. But I just can't obviously check it out right now. I just remember there were like one or two
They must have gotten through. Check the trench.
Islay whiskies which I wasn't so thrilled about. Is it lucky? Yeah, I've seen Vatine a few times. They played at Steelfest not too long time ago, and I've seen them in I think it was 2005 when they were a lot smaller band. There was lots of blood and bad rotten smell on stage back then. Nowadays they look like quite a different band with the big pyros, lots of flames and all that stuff. Not big fires like, not Rammstein level, but still, I mean, they're quite a different now versus what they used to be. Watan is pretty okay live band.
I hear him up ahead.
Yeah, Trojan, I think Watan is pretty solid. I mean, they probably don't want to say it's entertaining, but I mean, it's entertaining. Yeah, Gorgoroth is a good live band with all the lamps and stuff. This guy is just sucker for bullets. Rammstein is fucking great live band. I mean, it's definitely one of the best live bands I've ever seen. You don't have to like Rammstein's music, but I mean, it's a fucking brilliant live band. I saw Rammstein for the third time last summer. It was so fucking great. I mean, even if you don't like all the songs, doesn't really matter, because, you know, those fucking flames and that crazy live with all the stories, details, everything. It's just fucking brilliant. I mean, actually it was in 2005. I kind of disliked Rammstein at that point, but when I saw them at a festival here in my home city, I was just as a press at the festival. I was like, fuck, let's go see it out with my friends. And that's the first time I saw Rammstein live.
We can get through here.
And they were so fucking great. I could feel the warmth of those flames and the fire for like, I don't know, 100 meters away from the stage, and I was like, okay, there's something magical. The earth was shaking, and it was so like, okay, so this is Rammstein. It was so much better live than on the albums. Later on I found that I really didn't like the two first albums, but I started to like their later on albums. And about Mayhem's Full Flare Abyss, I think it's quite a good EP,
Have a look.
but it's not even close to the Mysteries Dem Satanas. Most disappointing gig I've seen. I have to think about it. And I can't think about it right now when I have this kind of a combat. Alright, so I don't have ammo. I'm probably gonna miss some of your comments during a fight scene, so in case I'm not replying, it's not because I don't like your comments, but because I cannot read those comments while, you know, trying to survive here. Fuck. But there has been some bats that have been bad. I just can't get in my head like which would be the worst ones. So these baddies come here with a lot of ammo and all that stuff, and suddenly when I'm trying to pick guns and ammo, they don't have any. Well, for example, I've seen a Mayhem gig where it's sounded like total rubbish because the sound was so bad. I really couldn't make out of it what the fuck they were doing. So those kind of gigs, but I don't know if it was the worst. Can I just wait that this guy uses all his ammo? No way. Yes, there is a difference between sounding raw and sounding bad in general. I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter if you sound raw when you have good songs and you know how to mix it and balance it. I'm just gonna die here, it seems like. I can't get to the motherfucker. Kill me, I'm just gonna... Yeah, I mean, think of early Dark Throne. I mean, they're raw as fuck, but you still can't make out of it what the fuck they're doing.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, this looks right. Stay close.
At least we're out of the rain.
How's it look?
Think we can squeeze through here.
And Ildiarn is a good example of how you sound raw and still sound powerful.
More soldiers.
Target's still on the loose, sir. Break off pursuit and report back to Sector 11.
I don't think they see us.
Scum, that is very true.
Stay in the shadows.
But there are lots of bands which, you know, sound just, you know, kind of a muffled sound, you know. Not necessarily like it's the opposite of clear sound, but often just, you know, you can't really hear the different instruments like bass, drums, and all that stuff. Yeah, Satanic Warmaster is a good example of raw band, which still sounds powerful.
Are we safe? No. They're still around. But take a moment to catch your breath. Joel, see if there's anything we can use in here.
Sure thing, boss.
And still during these modern times when people have tools to could create good audio, that is good production and all that stuff, so many bands just fail to do it. I mean, it's so weird because you would figure out that nowadays so many bands can, you know, kind of a... I forgot I have this. So there's so many bands kind of fail to create proper sound, even though nowadays you could basically just record at your home studio with a computer, some pedal. You don't need magic. But still so many bands just suck, you know. Mixing,
Yes, up through here,
balancing the sound.
I think we can make it through here.
Stay very close, Ellie.
Okay.
Usually bass is way too silent. You barely hear bass in the typical black metal albums. Yes, Tross, and that's exactly true. But what some bands don't still understand is that you really need to listen to your music on so many different setups, not just with your hi-fi studio monitors, you know. Like in Finland, many people use those Genelec studio monitors.
What was the
and
plan?
obviously you can
Let's
just
say that we deliver you to the
hear
Fireflies.
the clarity
What then?
with that stuff. But it might be
Marlene,
totally different setup
She
with
said that
some
they have them in a
headphones,
quarantine zone with doctors
or
that are still
some
trying to find a cure.
Yeah, I've heard
basic
that before, huh,
stereo system, normal speakers, so to speak.
And whatever happened to me is the key to finding a vaccine.
Oh, Jesus.
And yeah, one thing that is
What she
very
said.
important
Oh, I'm
when
sure
you're
she did.
mixing, doesn't matter what the style
I didn't
is,
ask for this.
that
Me neither. Tess,
sound actually
the hell are we
supports
doing
the
here?
What if
music,
it's true?
you know? So, for example, if you want to do a black
What
metal
if,
album,
Joel?
you
We've
don't
come
maybe
this
want
far,
that
let's
sound,
just
kind of a
finish it.
clarity you
I
would
need
want
to
on a
remind you what
progressive
is
metal
out there.
album. But you still have to have that kind of clarity that your songs actually make sense, instead of being just some dissonant shit, you know? You don't want your album to sound like it's some fucking oatmeal, like it's a porridge.
This way. If we cut through downtown, we can hit the Capitol building by sunrise.
We hope.
Well, exactly. Yeah, what I'm trying to say here is that you kind of want to have that kind of a crispiness, now that this cornflake was mentioned. You don't have to sound like crystal clear, but usually the kind of a clearness of the sound, it's not, it doesn't mean it's not powerful. I mean, listen to some the mysteries, some sathanas, and you will understand that while you have a kind of a clear sound, it can still
you hear that?
Yeah.
sound powerful. No, I don't mind cornflakes, but they are not my favorite. And good night, whoever it was. I don't see the name anymore in my screen. Gyro lamp, that's my point as well. Some bands just wanna kind of
the Capitol building.
hide
We need to get around this mess.
their lack of skill with poor sound,
This is
you know,
the downtown
muffled.
area?
It was. Now it's a giant wasteland.
When the production is kind of chaotic, it's easy to hide your mistakes with notes and all that stuff. You know, it's you kind of get away with your sloppy playing when your sound is all that fucking bad.
Over here.
And it's so easy to just say as like an excuse, like, oh, so you don't like our album, where maybe you're not called enough to understand this kind of a lo-fi production. But I think it's fucking bullshit, because
Hey, Tess.
Coming.
if you gave it a real treat, you know, you wouldn't hide your flaws, your mistakes. And yeah, I agree with Guy Roland. Outside opinion is fucking important. That's why so many good bands actually have producers.
It's been ripped apart.
You know, the worst
Body's
feedback
pretty fresh.
ever you can get with the closest ones, like girlfriends, parents, whatever, because they are not gonna criticize you. They're just gonna be supportive, most likely anyway. And obviously the second worst opinion you're gonna get is from your haters, because they're gonna hate your music and sound and whatever, no matter what the style is. So it doesn't matter if you have the best sound in the world, they're gonna fucking hate your guts anyway. But usually it helps if you get feedback from people who understand the genre of music you're making and what you're aiming for with your music.
Another one. Shit.
Then they might have some valuable opinions, and obviously not only they have to understand your music but the genre in general, you know. So, for example, people from other bands might be helpful in order to figure out which kind of
God damn it. Clicker.
Jeez.
which kind of
What's wrong?
sound you're looking for, what to do with it.
So what, are they blind?
Sort of. They see using sound.
Like bats?
Like that. If you hear one clicking, you gotta hide.
And though that kind of a producer person doesn't have to be a real producer, it just has to be somebody who understands about the music, lo-fi or whatnot. And who knows what you're aiming for with your sound. So
Watch your
it
head.
definitely helps if that somebody is, you know, from the same scene, so to speak. Somebody you can communicate with. Because if there's a person who doesn't like, for example, melodic black metal, and you want to do a melodic black metal album, it really doesn't do much for you. I mean, having a death metal guy's opinion about black metal album may not help a lot. You're looking for different things, unless that person is also interested in black metal.
Give me a hand with this.
Let's search for supplies.
Shit. Oh, that was intense.
Let's get the hell out of here. Oh boy.
Cheers, scum. Take care.
Give
Talk
me
to you
up
later.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll upload. That's how it is. I mean,
Just see if there's a way through.
if people don't understand what you're doing or you're listening to, it doesn't really get easier by explaining.
It's clear. Come on, Ellie.
Yet again, I
Alright,
find
kid, you're up.
explaining metal so much easier than, for example, explaining like dark ambient.
Come on, big guy. Let's go. Clickers?
Shit. Go.
Well, Blonde, see what I mean by zombie apocalypse game.
Over the scaffolding. I think that's it. Ellie, you okay?
Other than shitting my pants.
Yeah, I was just pissing some people off. This is no, I think not. This is black metal, but I think it was black metal promotion group on Facebook. And
Give me a second.
there was some people, which were like.
There you go, ladies.
All right. Come on.
They were kind of annoyed about this
Stairwell's blocked.
gatekeeping.
Should we go back up? This is crazy.
Like how black metal should be for
Just
everybody
don't
and all
look
that
down.
stuff.
Are you serious?
And I was pretty much saying the same as La Blonde, like, it's okay to keep it just underground. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. Don't look down. Just don't look down. You're okay. You got away through. Runners.
I'll go check it out. Stay with the girl.
So what is this MZ you're talking about? Because I seem to be very clueless about it. Yeah, but I mean, what it is? You mentioned the name before, but that doesn't ring any bells. NSBM hipsters. All right. I actually have Sims for PlayStation. Is this too traumatizing for you? Because it certainly is for me. Heart-racing situations. Sims is great. No, oh yeah, talking about some disappointments live. When I saw the Pester Noir live at Steelfest, it felt like crap, to be honest. I don't hate the band as such, but really not my cup of tea, at least not live. La Blonde, why? It's not that great, you know? And I mean, like, if you like it, hey. I just don't think it's that great. Well, the reason why Werewolf is so much into synthbame is that he likes that old school symphonic black metal.
Alright, come on down.
This game can be so fucking stressful, you know, at these points. I have this need to take a piss and then having those fights, and I'm like, oh god damn it. But yeah, Sims is kind of a relaxing. It's just kind of a chill and play kind of a game. And you can just fool around with that kind of game. Yeah, I try not to piss my pants because that would be a fucking shameful. That being said, I think I will take a pause for a couple of minutes. So I'm just gonna hit the menu screen. I will take a piss, and then I will have more whiskey. So be right back, and feel free to put some comments on there, and I will get back to you. Alright, guys and gals, I'm back here online. What is the most oppressed of formats? I want to know. Great Metal Walt, what kind of beer are you drinking? Don't tell me that you're one of those Bud Light drinkers, because in America you surely know how to brew some proper beers. I know that Satanic Warmaster is pretty busy with his personal life. Not gonna get into details, but I can imagine he has a lot of stuff on his plate, so to speak. Drinking champagne, well, that's quite a bit. Yeah, might be the Werewolf album that Satanic Warmaster was. Founder's Breakfast Stout, well, that's good stuff. New Werewolf sounded good, and I was hoping to get it for review. Lauri, that is Werewolf, promised to actually send me that, but I don't know, maybe he forgot because a lot of albums coming out and all that stuff. Do know. Yes, tape is most oppressed format, but then again, I do understand why. Because tape is not very long-lasting format, nor it is very useful. I mean, you really can't choose the track you're listening to that easily.
Tess, go.
All right, hold on.
All right.
And tape is kind of a nuisance.
See? Doing all right?
Uh-huh.
Down we go.
Yeah, let's get to it.
But yeah, it should tell you a lot about
Get through here.
Satanic Warmaster's
Watch your back.
love for synth BAM, because he was, for example, asking me like, why didn't we offer Nightside LP to be printed on his own label instead of some other label, like, because he's a fan of synth BM stuff.
I was thinking, after we get back, we can take it easy for a little while.
You want to take it easy.
Hey, you're the one always going on about laying low.
And you always brush me off.
Autumn Leaves.
Not this time.
I mean, it can be anybody else also than just admin. You just have to have enough points, so to speak, on Metal Archives, certain ranking, and you can start adding bands there and changing information. The rank you have defines what you can do on the site. So the better the rank, the more you can actually edit. So usually if a band like starts with a 0 points and you try to start adding your own band, it's not as likely to go through as with somebody who actually has some rank and has proven to
Through here.
include trustworthy information. I got actually boosted when I joined Metal Archives because I had one of the high-ranking members actually gave me points to start with because he already knew my work for being as a review guy for past like 15 years or whatever. So I got more points than a regular Joe right from the beginning. But still, it's not like I can, for example, change all the information. I can just have more information changed than some random person who just started there. Yeah, I think I got added that 1,000 points right away. And the rest of the points is something that I have gotten through my edits.
Yep. These guys aren't doing well in or out of the city. Let's hope there's someone alive to meet us at the drop-off.
It's gonna be...
Donald, that's great stuff. I hope that what you're saying about that 45-year-old Scotch is true, because that kind of whiskey is really, really fucking expensive and also really great. I've only once tasted a 50 years old whiskey and god damn it was good. It was like this perfect stuff. I don't even remember what was the name, but it was really fucking good. The best booze I ever had.
From the quarantine zone.
See? They're not our guys.
So, Mr. President, what is your favorite metal band?
Over there, see him?
Shit. God, we're almost out. Okay, Joel, you take point. I'll watch the rear. Ellie, no matter what, you stay right on his heels. Sure. You stay sharp.
I got it.
autumn leaves, you probably mean the Prime Minister.
Man.
Because our Prime Minister is actually a good-looking lady, but the President, well, he's just a regular old handsome guy, I guess. Not too handsome in my opinion, but and again, I'm not into guys anyway. Yeah, I already reviewed the new First Word a couple of weeks ago. It's good. Not their best, but it's good. Twisted Sister is great. If you remember 1990s when all these
Scary.
this act which led to these explicit lyrics, content, whatever, stickers. Dee Snider of Twisted Sister was actually the smarter ones about those kind of albums when he was having that speech at the court. I would imagine if real Donald Trump was into metal music, he would like Five Finger Death Punch, because it's all about bald eagles, fuck you, I got you 6, and all that stuff.
Oh man.
I mean, if you want some something different from my channel for terms of reviews, check out my Five Finger Death Punch reviews, and you know what I mean. Yeah, Bound for Glory would be also in that stuff. I didn't even remember that band before you now mention it. It must have been like 90s or early 2000 when I was listening to Bound for Glory the last time.
Holy shit. We actually made it.
Everyone okay?
Yes. Let's move.
You guys are pretty good at this stuff.
Gyro, that's a fun
It's
thing.
called luck. And it is gonna run out.
Oh yeah, talking about booze, I need some booze. Got myself some good Scotch whiskey. I think I've already drunk half the whiskey. I bought 1 liter bottle from that Nordic metal cruise a couple of months ago. I've been sipping that stuff with these game streams.
To where we going, Tess?
Capitol building's in this direction.
People, let's be positive. Assuming the darkness, I mean, assuming that the coronavirus stuff is not ripping us into pieces, but traveling is actually possible. How many of you will be joining for Darkness Guides us 2020? And that's, my friends, how you bash a skull.
They're recently infected.
You could
Those soldiers must have just turned.
basically do Cannibal Corpse lyrics
We gotta go.
with a game like this. Bashing her skull with a knee. And then some more part.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think that Antifa doesn't have a chance beating Darkness Guides us. They haven't announced a new venue, but they have a new venue, and they won't be announcing it until it's too late for Antifa to act up. Yeah, and I'm stoked about, Darkness Guides us. Last year it was a fucking blast. I met great people at the fest. Saw great gigs.
They're coming.
I think I did some nice interviews too. And I mean, Scotland is a fucking great place. La Blonde.
You got something on your shoe.
Don't worry about it. You will get your reply, I'm sure.
Okay.
Alba, exactly.
Get out of
That's
this
what I heard.
place.
Edinburgh, all the way.
So Marlene thinks you're immune?
Switzerland, okay.
That's what she
How is the scene in Switzerland, by the way? I have no information.
And you must have been somewhere you shouldn't to find an infected in a zone.
Yeah. I'd sneak out. I was in this.
Artio Punto. Yes, that's
Sneak out? You
how
know,
I think it's gonna be.
Or the city. I was in the mall when I ran into infected.
That place is completely off limits. How the hell did you get in there?
I had my ways. Anyways, one of those, what you guys call runners, bit me, and that was that.
I see. Were you with Marlene when you were bitten?
No. I went to her for help afterwards.
Knowing her, I'm surprised she didn't shoot you.
She almost did. Hope she's all right.
I told you. She's gonna be fine.
Edinburgh. La Blonde. Just don't sweat about it. I'm sure you will make it. But yeah, Scotland is fucking sweet, man. I don't know if I have fully underlined, like emphasized how much I just, you know, love Scotland and Scotch people. Not only Scotch whiskey, by the way. Erchu Pundo, your line kind of a cut. You have to make choice between that and what?
Ow, shit! Sorry, that was me.
Tess.
Sorry.
Oh, Steel Chaos. Well, yeah, it's a tough cookie because they both have good bands and all that stuff. Well, hard to say which one is better. Okay, Scots, not or Scottish, not Scotch. All right, thanks for letting me know. Goddamn, it's hard. You're Scots or Scottish. You're not Scotch. Oh, goddamn. Guess I have to just learn to say Scottish. Scottish. La Blonde, yeah, say no more, say no more. But yeah, regarding Steel Chaos or Darkness Guides, a tough choice because both fests have great bands, and I guess it depends how is one's travel budget, like how much you can actually put money into that traveling, and also which bands you have previously seen versus which bands are still not unseen.
Watch your head.
Still are unseen. Because obviously, I mean, for a Finnish point of view,
I'm alive.
Steel Chaos
I'll make my way around.
isn't as big of a deal as Darkness Guides us. Because I mean, you know, there's nothing exotic and seen many of those bands versus Darkness Guides us. But then again, if you're from outside of Finland, obviously, Steel Chaos looks very, very tempting. I can imagine that.
Tess.
Motherfuckers. Yellow Blonde, if I was living in UK, I would definitely visit Scotland more often too. And yes, Satanic War Master is great live. You definitely want to see it. Big fan or not. R2 Punto, yes, I agree. That's how it goes. I mean, these are the factors based on which you either decide to go on a given festival or not. Carol Lamp, it cuts your comment off at the basically like. It's basically like what? I mean, you already sold me that place, but I still want to go there because I haven't been northern than Pitlokri. I'm not sure how it is pronounced. Oban is one of those Scotch whiskies which I wasn't too much fan of, I think. A fist fight!
With zombies.
Cannibal Corpse fist fight.
Beat into a pulp.
That's too damn close.
Thank you, Alba. So it's Pitlokri. Great. Yeah, Pitlokri was a nice place. There was nothing much to see really, but fields, 2 distilleries, some bar with some sort of I think Braveheart theme beers, a small brewery I think, a golf course. So it was just all about this rural setting. But it was nice. We had some whiskey tour. We had some beers. We had some whiskeys. We bought some bottle of Scotch whiskey, which was matured in a Chardonnay barrel, I think. And it was great stuff. We finished that bottle in Edinburgh.
Tess, how are you holding up?
Just a bit winded. Look this way. This will get us to the roof.
So mostly scenes as Glasgow and Edinburgh, but I would definitely love to see beyond those big cities.
How about you, Kate? You okay?
Oh yeah, I forgot I had
I'm
some
okay.
whiskey.
Are you still breathing?
Do small panicked breaths count?
Yeah, they count.
Right. I'm okay.
Oh, what the fuck the time is? Oh, it's already past 3 a.m. Let's just assume I will stay up until 4 a.m. and so we have some 45 minutes of game time before I call it quits.
We gotta find a way across.
One thing which I actually
There
love
she
in
is.
big
That's
cities
our building.
are skyscrapers. You know, we don't have them here in Finland. But they are some majestic pieces of architecture which I really like, especially in New York City, but other places as well. Dubai, for example. But in Dubai it feels quite different, by the way, compared to New York City and San Francisco and all that stuff. I gotta say, I didn't see any skyscrapers in Scotland either.
All right. Now watch your step as you're going out, because it's going to be a little...
In London, I think there are some skyscrapers.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, you can't deny that view.
Come on, this way.
Isle of
Hey,
Lewing.
pick it
Where
up.
is that place? Isle of Lewing.
Look, we're almost done. Stay focused.
Yes, ma'am.
It's right around this corner. Come on.
Let's keep moving, kid.
I remember one cool cemetery in the middle of Edinburgh. We took that one of those
Look at this.
There's a Firefly logo on his arm.
ghost
What if
tours.
we get there and they're all dead?
They won't be.
But how do you know?
I just do.
Yeah, Gore, this is some great game.
Look, it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Has to be.
I mean, I don't even remember all the parts here. Just some here and there.
Up and over.
Like I remember when I saw the giraffes for the first time, it was like, wow moment. I also remember some rather annoying parts
stretch, Tess.
in this game, which I guess I wouldn't like to remember. Because I feel like already a little bit annoyed by them, but...
Just so it's out there,
If they were not deal breakers for the first
Okay, looks
time,
like it's
they
shallow on
surely
the
won't
right
be
side. Follow me.
that kind of stuff for the second time.
glad
But look at
Marlene
these
hired you
graphics, it's
guys.
still very
What
brilliant.
do you mean? I know you guys are getting paid for this, but I'm trying to say things.
Yeah, sure thing.
There was this one annoying cellar scene which I remember being really frustrating.
No. No, no, no.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us? About me?
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't! Don't touch me.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Joel.
Let me see.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look. There's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. They're here.
Damn it.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run.
You want us to just leave you here?
Yes.
There is no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Come on. Make this easy for me.
Now the question is, because these are having this conversation about this, what if you were bitten? Would you rather kill yourself or get killed, or
I didn't mean for
become
this.
that kind of a zombie? Let me know.
You know you're in there. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up.
What the fuck? I can't believe we did that.
Stop.
We just left her to die.
Stop. You stay close to me. We have to move.
Also a great death metal title for a song.
Left to die.
Just keep pushing forward.
Target neutralized. She took out 2 of my men. Copy that. You, take out the door.
Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
Tess.
Is the chat once again screwed?
You're gonna be here soon.
Anybody? Anybody? Is dead.
We should move. Hurry, Joel.
Because to be honest, I don't know. I mean, in a way, it would be easy to say, yeah, I just kill myself and all that stuff.
Behind you.
But then again, if you're either way gonna die, what does it matter if you're a monster? Once again, cops that shoot but don't have ammo. Don't you just love the logic in video games? They shoot me multiple times, but yet again I cannot pick their ammo because, well, that would be way too powerful for this fella. So the game doesn't really let me take those loads of ammunition. That's a good point, Gore. The thing is that once we become these creatures, that is, if we become...
I got this.
Got him!
All right, come on, Ellie.
Right behind you.
Then again, if you just become this monster and you don't even realize that, it might be just as, for the lack of a better word, as blissful as, you know, just dying. So it's like, what's the harm? You're gonna get killed anyway. I mean, if let's assume that this infection turns you into a sort of an animal, like these infected are sort of animals in a way. Like, could it be really that bad? I mean, if you're always just hungering for blood, like, why not? Like, I mean, why would it be necessarily better option to be this human with no infection versus being this infected human, which then again acts like a, you know, an animal? I'm just pondering, because I mean, like, when this lady said that she'd rather kill herself, but then again, why? Really? If you really think about it.
What are we doing? Joel, how do we get out of here?
Right. We're gonna go through that hall. Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
Now this gives me a flashback of some fight. Gotta get some whiskey before the action starts. Let's see if we can surprise this motherfucker.
Report!
But if I sacrificed the child, where would be the story?
Come on, man, let's go.
Then I died. Yeah, I mean, if there was this kind of a solution, like, okay, let's just fucking kill the child. Let's just get it on with it.
How many more there are?
I mean, kind of what? Why not? But you basically kill the story. It'd be just away with it, like, okay, that's the end. Cool, bye-bye. Maybe in future we will have games like that. I mean that you can't just... Okay, stealth failed. Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of a cool option to have. Not saying that it would make a great story, but at least you would have the option. Where is that hombre going? Hombre loco. Are you fucking mental? You just ran private. Motherfucker, don't you dare shoot at me. Take my baseball bat, you motherfucker. Don't fuck with me. Gore, it might be Far Cry 4. If you just wait it out, that the bad guy comes for you, have a chat and blah blah blah, you can actually finish the game in a way that you don't have to play through the whole story. That's actually one of the achievements in the game, what I read anyway. And I think it was a great game design to include such an option. Because why the fuck not? I mean, after all, the game starts with like, hey, I came with this
Let's keep looking. I'll check out this area.
This whatever it is, ashes of a dead person or something like that.
We got visuals.
Fuck you. I'm from Everglades, motherfucker. I kill you all. Okay, this is not Red Dead Redemption. Oh, come on.
Joel, there's the exit.
I see it.
Give me your ammo. Yeah, Archcode is it's always a solid live band. But I don't know. I mean, I've seen Archcode so many times. It's nothing special for me anyway. But Archcode is one of those bands that never fail, you know? I mean, they always do kind of a solid show. They have this kind of a consistency with their music, you know? They don't just fuck around. I guess I could call them stable one. So, yes, you haven't seen it, like LeBlanc said. Yeah, well, Archcode is definitely worth seeing. I mean, even though it's more Black Death than just pure black metal band, and might not be musically
There's stairs over there.
like right up to everybody's alley, I still think it's definitely worth seeing.
Following us.
No target. I repeat, no target.
There's a soldier.
I saw Inquisition in some, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago.
Copy that.
They had some kind of a hypnotic feeling.
I wasn't lying to you.
Nothing superb, but still something that was great. And since that, I must say, Inquisition has done better albums. Your comment was censored. What happened? What did you write? Can you rewrite it in a different way?
Man down! Piece of shit!
Lol, I shot that guy in the ass. Ah, yeah, probably so. Well, Archcode is kind of a black and death at the same time, you know. In case you haven't heard the band before, at least. A little bit gloomy here in the subways, right? Very tempting. Yeah, I think so many people want to just include Archcode in the black metal genre because all the imagery, lyrics, topics, so forth are all pure black metal. But if you just listen to them without thinking about lyrics, the context, and whatever, it is more death metal than black metal. Well, the later album actually has more old school vibes, like their Battery wipes and sort of stuff.
Hey, I can't swim.
We'll figure something out.
But I mean, it's Black and Dead. Much like it has the same kind of thing like blasphemy, you know. People are kind of trying to forcefully think it's black metal just because it's supposed to be black metal. It's like these people don't even, you know, remember things like satanic death metal. You know, I'm talking about bands such as Acheron. So just because a band is satanic doesn't mean it's necessarily black metal. I think that should be obvious to most people. Well, Cosmic, you have to understand, of course, that Venom was way before that. You know, with the term black metal. And then again, back in the 80s, if you take a look at some of the interviews, some bands that were black metal was still called death metal. So like some people said back then it was just called death metal, even if it was trash metal, black metal, trash metal, death metal, black metal doesn't really matter.
There's a ladder. Maybe we can use that.
But you have to understand that Artscode didn't have this reputation and things like that back in the early days. Actually, one of my friends reminded me that when you know, Artscode guys were young and the band was relatively new, Artscode was even laughed upon, you know. So it isn't like they were always seen as veterans or pioneers of Finnish black metal scene. So they were not definitely seen as, you know, like Beherit or Impel Nazarene. Like, as much as I love the Artscode guys and I like what they do with their music and all that stuff, you have to understand that much of Artscode's fame is of 2000s. So people really cannot, you know, rewrite history just because they think like that. Yeah, concept of black metal wasn't defined. That's what I'm saying. Like, black and death metal were like one and the same back in the 80s. I think
Really?
it was as late as 90s when black and death metal were started to get, you know, divided into two different categories. You know, and one of the things were this Norwegian second wave black metal, because you know, Norwegian bands, especially with Euronymous from Mayhem, wanted to make clear with this death-like silence that no mosh, no fun, no core, no trance. So this was all kind of opposing to the ideas of death metal, you know. You don't have fun. That is, you don't just smoke pot and, you know, chill out, you know. Like it was seen death metal and thrash metal. And no core, no kind of grindcore, no politics and all that stuff. Napalm death and etc. And no mosh. It was kind of, I think, related to this no fun idea. It wasn't about having fun to go to concerts, and moshing and hugging people and all that stuff. Black metal wanted to be this kind of a dangerous beast, this vile, evil creature that is not to be a party animal, which I guess that what death metal and thrash metal was seen, especially the kind of our American culture. You have fast cars, you drink booze, you have beach babes, you have pot, and all that stuff. And black metal wanted to be the serious, sinister, evil, dark, cold, mysterious, occult thing. So I think that's one of those eras when black and death metal started to get divided, when there had to be this line drawn. That's anyway how I got to learn the differences between these different styles. I'm not saying I'm necessarily 100% right about all these details, but that's how I got to learn in the 90s already. Norwegian mosh pit looked like a bunch of guys weighing some 120 pounds, skinny guys with, or all dyed, black hair, being grim at each other. Yes, Winter Semestre, I remember the band. There was a much debate if that band was kind of a joke to begin with, because that band had a lot of gossips about the lineup, like if there was guys that were not black metal guys to begin with, and even their interview back in the 90s on a radio show, they had their
I don't even know
Here's
what
how this thing's gonna
voices
play out.
changed,
You
like
don't bring up Tess.
down-tuned
Ever.
in the weird effects or whatever.
Matter of fact, we just
And
keep our
all
history
these
to ourselves. Secondly,
names
don't
with
tell
their
anybody
albums and
about
songs.
your condition. They think you're crazy. They'll try to
They
kill
are
you.
not that smart. If you think about the
And
name
lastly, you do
Winter
what I say
Semestre, it
when I
basically
say.
means winter holiday.
Clear?
In a way, winter
Sure.
season,
Repeat
something like
it.
that. So,
What you say goes.
I mean, there was a lot of debate if these
Good.
guys were ever serious or if they were
There's
just
a
trolling
town
the whole
a few miles north of here. There's a fella
scene,
there that owes me some
or if they were
favors.
just visitors from
Good chance he could
other
get us a
scene,
car.
Like if there were thrash metal guys, like there was
Let's get a
this
move on.
theory, I think there were kind of Stone guys, the old Finnish thrash metal band. If there were like members from those kind of bands that wanted to do this kind of a goofy side project. And I'll get to back, Kirkko Kyrpä. Hold on. So if there was this about, if they were just basically wanting to do a kind of a black metal side project, but didn't want it to do with their own names, not to get tarnished with bad reputation and all,
Yeah.
So it's hard to say whatever the truth is, because I don't know the guys behind the band, but there were so many theories that these guys were not serious about black metal in the first place, and that's why they wanted to hide their identities.
She was up to the task. Why'd she drop you off on us?
Well, maybe she's better now.
Exactly. Well,
For
Kirkko
sake,
Kyrpä,
your friend's chances of
literally
survival weren't too
translated,
bad to begin with.
means
She's a lot tougher than you think.
church dick,
It don't matter.
church cock.
'Cause I doubt I can get either one.
And they explained it in an interview that when they were traveling in Germany, I remember this from a radio interview, that they saw so many of these churches around the countryside and cities that it made them think like there's a bunch of dicks all over, erected, Well, in a way, well, maybe it was because I was younger, but it kind of made sense, like they wanted to make these kind of a blasphemous names, much like Heavenly Vulva, I mean, it's not a great title, but it's clearly blasphemous, So, Heavenly Vulva, Kirkko Kyrpä, I think it's one way to say the same thing in just different words, basically. You're using genitals to make it more blasphemous, you know. Yeah, Kirkko Kylpä is pretty okay an album. I don't think it's a great album, but I mean it's decent, definitely. But yeah, there's still I think some uncertainty whether or not that band was serious or just a joke band. Well, my pleasure to tell you what I know. But I don't want to present any of my experience 100% truth unless I know these are facts. So I just, even though I might tell you pieces and bits about gossip and stuff like that, that is not to say all these are necessarily 100% truth. Because I mean, I doubt a lot of things. So obviously I don't want to spread misinformation. But these are some of the stories I've been reading about, I've been told. So it's hard to say what is the truth. Loitsupuut. I don't know where is this name taken, but Loitsu means spell. Puut is plural of either timber or wood. So roughly translated, Loitsupuut would be like spell tree, spell wood, spell timber, something like that. Puu can be timber, wood, or tree. So really, WTC, World Terror Committee, was thinking about re-releasing. Alright, interesting knowledge. I didn't know about that. But yeah, somehow I have the feeling that these winter semester guys were not too serious. And I think that's one of the reasons why the band didn't continue after one EP and one album, I think. And that's, I think, which explains why these guys were not using their real voices in this radio interview. I think they were just hiding their own voices so that nobody could just, you know,
here.
bust them out that easily.
Good drop.
Just a theory though, but just saying. Perkele, Satana 666. It's not Satana, but Satana. By the way, did you know that Perkele? Yeah, that's a good point. It certainly sounded like Lord Sadanakia. Did you know that Perkele is actually a Slavic god of thunder? It's a Faustian Pact song. I couldn't remember all the songs by names because I don't have the CD or LP. Just had some digital files, so wouldn't remember the song names. But yeah, I would imagine it would be like spell woods, probably.
Give me a second.
Or pieces of trees related to casting a spell or something like that. Yeah, I was thinking about wand as well. But it also could mean some kind of focus object. Like if you had like some circle of, I don't know, magic where you would cast spells and you would have these pieces of wood laid around. I don't listen to RAC, that is Rock Against Communism, if somebody's clueless. I am not interested in bands like Mistreat and stuff like that. But I have a soft spot for some Swedish Viking rock bands. They're like Viking rock bands such as Ultima Thule and Hell. Hell with one L. Erchipunto, that is totally possible. There was at least Perkunos, which is one version of the name. Somehow I remember that there's this one of these clickers here. Yeah, Ultima Thule is pretty great. But hell, having those double female vocals, it's like two Valkyries singing these songs. I think you totally should check out Hell if you don't mind some Nordic, some Viking females, some real blondes, by the way. Thinking of La Blonde here. Some real blondes singing about some real Swedish national romanticism in rock and roll tunes. Really catchy stuff. And those ladies, they have beautiful voices too. So you should check out Hell. It's basically in the same field, same genre than Ultima Thule, but because of female vocals, it's a little bit different.
Shit. It's jammed from the other side.
Here, boost me up.
It's not such a good idea.
Well, I can't boost you up. How else are we gonna get over there?
I remember liking that Hell quite a bit, but haven't heard it for years. I only have it some MP3 somewhere in my hard drive or whatever.
Just open it, okay? Nothing else.
It wasn't available on CD.
Sure thing.
When I wanted to buy them.
Easy, easy.
Okay.
Oh crap, it's almost 4 a.m. here. So I guess I'm gonna put this game on a pause.
Thank you.
Soon. Guys, you have been once again wonderful audience, wonderful people to talk with. It's always really enjoyable to just, you know,
So let's say we get a car from this buddy of yours.
relax and
Then
talk
what?
with you some
Well,
metal
go find Tommy.
while playing,
Marlene said he's
obviously.
your brother?
I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much you
yeah.
actually pay attention to the gaming, or
You know
are
where
you
to
just
take you.
participating in the talk and all that stuff. But
He lives far from here, which is
at least
why
for
we
me,
go.
it's really nice to have you here on board,
look.
so to speak.
No.
Yeah, those are gnomes.
Man, I had an art book filled with these. I always thought they were super cute. Not fairies, though. They creep me out.
All right, man.
So if I can give you one piece of homework for the lack of better word here, I would say check out that Hell band. It's worth your time, even if you're mostly just about listening to metal. And regarding the stream, I think we'll continue with this one next week, because this is a game that totally, in my opinion, deserves more streaming, deserves more screen time, especially that the new game is soon out. And thank you, Metal Vault. I'm honored to have you here. It's always cool to have another YouTuber with cool channel to join for some talk and whatever. Thank you, Aski. I like to keep it in a calm, friendly way so that we can have this conversation among people to talk about metal, enjoy some gaming, I guess, I hope, and in general have a good time with drinks and talks and stuff like that, especially because these epidemic times kind of makes so many of us stuck at home. But anyway, since I'm gonna get some sleep, thank you once again for being part of this nice talk here. And next week we will continue from this stream. And one more thing which I want to remind you of, I'm gonna be making hopefully a short video, but I'm not known for that habit. But Rauta will actually turn 3 years next week, so I will be celebrating the.
Jesus.
Whoa, Nelly.
I will be
What the hell was
making
that?
a video about Rauta's 3 years
Your friend a bit paranoid, maybe?
era so far, and talk you a little bit about how things have been. So next week, get your cupcakes ready, cakes ready, and we'll talk about 3 years of Rauta stuff and wonder once again what will be in the future. Thank you, LeBlond. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Have some drinks. Don't get too drunk, or you will have a hangover. With these words, I'm just gonna get my character to climb up, and then I will save the game. I think this is a pretty cool place to just save the game. Alright, good night. Bye bye.